Welcome back, YouTube. Sensei Domino here. I've got quite a bit of mail to share with you. This is my mail from Monday through Saturday, and I received 7 TTM returns and 3 fan packs this week. And I'll go ahead and start with the fan packs. And this first one comes from the Vancouver Canucks. And if you'll bear with me, they sent me a letter, a typed letter, and they put my actual address on it, so I want to make sure that stays covered before I show it. Alright. I'm not going to read the letter, but I'll put it on the screen, so if you want to read it, you can pause the video. There you go. And they sent me a really cool 50th anniversary pin, 1970 to 2020. Anytime I see pins like this, it sort of gives me a feeling of nostalgia. Growing up in the 80s, these things were all over the place, and you know, some people would actually cover their entire jean jacket with them. And you know, I definitely get a sense of nostalgia when I see these. So super happy that they sent something like that. They also sent 3 Vancouver Canuck temporary tattoos that I'm sure the kids at the school will really enjoy. And they sent 3 player postcards as well. One of Tyler Myers. They sent one of Nils Höglander. I think that's how you say it. If not, I apologize. And they sent one of the mascot, Finn. There you can read all about Finn. So that was very cool of Vancouver to ship me that all the way from Canada. I've had several Canadian teams send me an email back saying that they aren't shipping to the United States right now, so very appreciative that Vancouver sent me any sort of fan pack. Very grateful. This next one comes from the New York Football Giants. And they sent me a pretty long letter. I'm not sure if it'll fit on the screen, but I'll do my best. Maybe if I lay it flat on my breaker mat, you'll be able to see it. Let me see. Yeah, there you go. I'll go ahead and pause your video real quick. And in that letter, they mentioned that they sent a photo, but it was not an actual autograph. And what they were talking about is this really nice 8x10 of Eli Manning. And that is definitely a facsimile autograph, but still a super nice 8x10 of Eli Manning, who will undoubtedly be in the Hall of Fame, if not in his first year of eligibility, probably shortly thereafter. So super cool to get that. I have nothing Eli Manning in my collection. I wasn't collecting his whole career, so cool to get that. And they also sent me this Super Bowl MVP card. Another facsimile autograph. Both the 8x10 and this are blank back. So there's not much to see there, but really cool photo holding the Lombardi trophy. And they also sent me a 2022 New York Giants schedule. Very cool. And they sent me a sticker. So that was a pretty nice fan pack from the New York Football Giants. The last fan pack I have is right here. This came from the Chicago Cubs. As you can see, they paid $9.85 to ship this. And this is going to go down as one of the best fan packs I'm sure I'm going to get. They sent me, there, I'll leave the photos for later. They sent me a shirt. And it's not a t-shirt, it's an actual shirt. Got a pocket, nice Cubs logo. Got the red and white sleeves and the collar. And this is 65% polyester, 35% cotton. And it feels like it's incredibly well made. So I'm certainly appreciative of the Cubs for sending me something like this. You know, I'd expect, if they were going to send a shirt, I'd expect some sort of like t-shirt or something. Not a nice shirt like this. That's super cool. And as you saw, that wasn't everything that they sold, that they sent. They sent me a couple of other photos in here as well. That's what I want. Still one in here. These are 8x10s. They put it in one of those nice cardboard envelopes. This is Ian Happ. And these are blank backs, so there's nothing to show. And then they sent me Marcus Stroman. Very, very cool. So I'm super appreciative of the Cubs for sending a fan pack like that. I mean, that's incredible. Was not expecting that. All right, on to the TTMs. This one comes from Mid-Island, New York. And this was originally an email, and the guy actually responded to my email and said if I send him a letter with a self-addressed stamped envelope, anything that I sent, he'd be more than happy to sign, which I thought was really cool. I mean, it was actually, or at least it said it was actually him. It might have been his secretary, but he did just that. I sent 3 index cards, and this is Frank Catalanato, and he signed all 3 of them. Now, Frank Catalanato is a former Texas Ranger. He played for several teams, but I really became a fan of his with the Texas Rangers. He was acquired by Texas in the Juan Gonzalez trade in 1999. And he kind of had that Julio Franco sort of stance where his bat was right out in front of him. He was really just sort of a fan favorite, and I enjoyed watching him, and he was a really good hitter. And so, super happy to get his autograph. And he was really nice in his emails, and you know, I'd like to think it was him. And very gracious of him to sign what I sent. Unfortunately, his entire career I wasn't collecting, so all I had to send him was index cards, but I like autographed index cards. So the next one is another email request, and this comes from Sun Devil Football. And sadly, this photo got bent in the mail pretty good, but it's from Herm Edwards to Tony. Best wishes, Herm Edwards. And you might remember Herm Edwards as the head coach of the New York Jets, where he had that really famous quote, "You play to win the game." It's kind of become iconic at this point. He also spent quite a few years on ESPN, so you might know him from there as well. But now he's the head coach at Arizona State, and really happy to get his autograph into my collection. And he was a heck of a ball player too. So next, we've got, this one came from Las Vegas, Nevada. And this one kind of concerned me because if you can see, this looks like it was cut open at the top and then taped shut. That was not done by me. I don't know if it was done by the individual or if it was done by the post office or somebody somewhere doing something they weren't supposed to be doing, but what I sent returned to me, so no harm, no foul, I guess. And this came from UFC Hall of Famer Randy Couture, and he signed both of my index cards. Super excited to get these. He's just UFC legend, MMA legend. I think he's a 6-time UFC champ. I believe 3 times as a heavyweight, 1 time as an interim lightweight, and 2 times as a lightweight. So 6-time UFC champ and a member of the UFC Hall of Fame. So very happy to get that into my collection. I have next to nothing UFC, so to get an icon like Randy Couture, just amazing. So this next one comes from Louisville, Kentucky. And I have already top-loaded the card in here because I didn't want it to get damaged. I'll go ahead and start with the card. This comes from ABA legend Louis Dampier. This is the 72-73 card where he's playing for the Kentucky Colonels. He is a member of the all-time ABA team. I think they picked the top 30 players. He was a 7-time ABA All-Star, and he is the all-time leader in ABA history in, I think, games, minutes played, points, assists, a bunch of different stats. He's just an iconic ABA player, and super excited to get his autograph on that card. And I sent 2 other index cards, and he did sign one of them. Really nice, beautiful signature right there on that card. And then the other one, nothing. But super appreciative of both these autographs that he did send. Next, I can't really hide this one. I don't really want to cover it up, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw it in front of the screen, and you'll know exactly what it is. This came from San Francisco, California, and you see the iconic glove up in the upper left. And this will be passing through my collection because I'm going to give this to my brother. He is a huge horror fan, and although I am a big Nightmare on Elm Street fan, I'm a big V fan, he would appreciate this more than I would. He also sent a couple pamphlets. I'll go ahead and show those real quick. If you want to pause the video right here. Nothing on the back. And this is some places that he will be going to here in the near future. Cons and different weekends. So if you want to see if he's coming to your area, there you go. And I sent him some index cards, and he didn't send those back. He sent this. Very cool. And he signed it with what looks like a paint pen of some kind. It's like super thick. And just looks super nice. And there's the back. So very appreciative of robertengland.com for sending this to me. And my brother will love it. Alright, this next one was kind of a shock. This was another email request, and they were nice enough to put handle with care, do not bend. This came from Las Vegas, Nevada. And I honestly didn't know what to think. I wasn't sure if I would get anything. What I did get was definitely a surprise. Let me take a quick peek. Alright, so they sent me an autographed 8x10, and here we go. I'll just kind of slide it in there. And this is from Penn and Teller. Both of them signed the 8x10. I like how Teller put a little arrow pointing to himself. And I guess growing up in the 80s, there were a lot of David Copperfield specials. And so I've kind of been, you know, I guess a Magic fan, an illusionist fan, because of that. And Penn and Teller are two of the best to do it, you know, along with Chris Angel or David Blaine, as I said, David Copperfield. So to get both of their autographs on an 8x10, just really cool. Super appreciative of them for sending me that. And love having that in my collection. But probably the best thing I got this week comes from Albany, New York. And I've mentioned on a couple you know, live streams, and probably not on my channel itself, I don't think, but I've mentioned on several live streams that I don't have a large comic book collection. But I did read the Sunday comics, and anytime I'd get a newspaper, I would, you know, while I'm eating breakfast, read those. And one of my favorites to read was probably Dennis the Menace, because I really enjoyed the, I guess, late 50s, early 60s black and white TV show. And when I was, I guess, third, fourth, fifth grade or something like that, they had a cartoon that they'd show at about 7:30 in the morning, my time. And it was Dennis the Menace, and I enjoyed watching that. And so Dennis the Menace became one of my favorite sort of comic strips to read. And when I found out that the guy that did those comics actually granted TTM requests, I immediately reached out to him via email and asked if I could get his autograph, and I asked if he could maybe do a doodle for me, and he did much more than I would have ever expected. And I'll go ahead and show what doesn't look like is an actual artwork. I mean, I know it's his, but it looks like it was a printout on a computer. But the content is right up my alley, and I am a huge Beatles fan, and to see this is super cool. You got John Lennon, George Harrison, Paul McCartney. I'm filling in for Ringo today, guys, and you got Dennis the Menace right there. And if you can see on the back of this, there's no ink bleeding through, so I don't think that that's an original artwork, as it were, even though it's his work. But on the bottom, for Tony, Ron Ferdinand, Hank Ketchum, ENT. This is actually done by him. And you can see, because it all bleeds through on the back. And when I saw this, it's just incredible. I did not expect anything like this. Super cool to have something like this in my collection. And, you know, I'm greatly appreciative of Ron Ferdinand to send this to me. Dennis the Menace is essentially an iconic character at this point. He's been around for 70 years, something like that. Everybody knows who he is. He's just, you know, a mischievous sort of good kid, good-natured kid. And, you know, it's just really cool to have an original artwork from Ron Ferdinand that he did. It says for Tony on it. Definitely more than I ever expected, and this is just super cool. Yeah, I'm almost speechless if it sounds like I'm stuttering for words to say, but that's just amazing to me. Very, very cool. And with that, that's all I have to show. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Hope you all have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you again soon.